Welcome to It's the Groove, the podcast that takes you under the wrapper to uncover the hidden connections in the music we love. Hi, I'm Dave, and as usual, I'm joined by my co-host Kelly. How are you today, Kelly?
I'm doing great. How are you?
It is a holiday today. By the way, happy holidays, Kelly.
Happy holidays to you.
Yes, it is a holiday today because we are recording this on the Wednesday after American Thanksgiving. And it is the day that the Spotify Wrapped was released. So I am so jacked up. And I sent my top 10 list to Kelly, and she was like, wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what we're doing right now. But the topic for today, we're really excited. This is our first edition of 2025. And we're going to go back to the future. We're going to go back to the year 1985 to celebrate the 40th anniversary of some of the best music of our lifetime. And we decided to do the top 10. Now, that, by the way, it's the Groove top 10 of 1985. And the reason we did that was because for a couple of reasons. 1985 was a pivotal year in music. You may not remember, but VH1, the little sister of MTV, premiered on January 1, 1985. A little bit later in January, towards the end of the month, USA for Africa, including the very top echelon of popular music talent, records the song "We Are the World" for famine relief in Africa. This one night, all night event will be memorialized many years later as, quote, the greatest night in pop music, end quote. A couple of other things that happened that year. Whitney Houston released her debut album. Madonna goes on the Virgin Tour, and yes, that was her first tour. Tears for Fears releases their album Songs from the Big Chair. And in the summertime, the Live Aid concert event occurs simultaneously in London and Philadelphia. And a little known story there, Phil Collins, with a little help from the Concorde supersonic jet, was able to perform at both venues during the same day. And it's the last time Duran Duran performed together with their original lineup for nearly 20 years. So there were so many things going on. Oh, and by the way, so many great albums and songs were released in the year 1985. We'll only be able to touch upon a few of those. But first of all, Kelly, what were you doing in 1985?
I was in high school, and basically I was just shopping for records and clothes and going to concerts. Oh, and, passing my classes in high school. So.
Well, it's good to know that you actually spent a little time in class, right?
Yeah.
All righty. Anything else going on in your life that year?
Well, you mentioned Live Aid, and Live Aid was a huge thing. I did spend all day in front of the TV recording my favorite music acts. So yeah, it was a huge event in my life at that time.
So how did you actually record that?
VCR. I had gotten a VCR for Christmas in 1984.
Wow. So you were ahead of the game. I don't think I had a VCR until maybe 87 or something. I think that was when I first got mine.
Wow.
So, yeah, okay. Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. Well, I think what we'll do is we're going to alternate between Kelly and Dave. And as always, ladies first. So, Kelly, why don't you share with us your one of your top songs from 1985?
Well, the first one is "A View to a Kill" by my favorite band, Duran Duran.
Shocked.
Thanks. It's the only Bond song to hit number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. It was co-produced by Chic's Bernard Edwards, who also worked with the Power Station that year. It was the last single by Duran's original lineup until 2004's Reach Up for the Sunrise. A View to a Kill was nominated for a Golden Globe, but not an Oscar. I'm still salty about that one. Uh, personal story. My mom took me to see A View to a Kill at the theater. I didn't really want to see the movie. I just wanted to see Duran's name on the big screen. But my mom wanted to stay for the entire movie, so I wasn't happy.
That reminds me of going to see, I loved the song Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with that one?
Yes.
And that was in one of the Batman movies. I can't remember which Batman movie, but I oh wow, I got to go see that. So I went. I did not like Batman, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to go for the song. Well, they ended up not even using the song until the closing credits, so I had to sit through an entire Batman movie just to hear that song. So anyway, so we're on to A View to a Kill by Duran Duran, and what's Simon's famous last line
in the video? Oh,
yeah,
it's Bond, Simon Le Bon.
I love that part. Okay, let's take a listen.
Meeting you with a view to a kill, face to face in secret places, feel the chill. Nightfall covers me, but you know the plans I'm making still oversee. Could it be the whole of opening wide? A sacred wine, a mystery gaping inside. The weekend's why until we dance into the fire. That fatal kiss is all we need. Dance into the fire to fatal sounds of broken dreams. Dance into the fire. That fatal kiss is all we need. Dance into the fire.
All righty. So one of my beliefs is that I don't care whether you were born in 1955, 1965, 1975, 1985, you know music from 1985. And the proof of that was just the other day on American Thanksgiving, we're walking up the street, my daughter, who was born in 1997, and they were playing The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News. And she's like, oh, yeah, I love that song. So that's my first one, Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News. This was actually written for the blockbuster movie Back to the Future, as we mentioned before. And Huey Lewis was asked to write a song for the movie, but he declined because he claimed he didn't know how to write film songs. And he really was not interested in writing one with the title or lyrics Back to the Future. So, but the film's producers persisted, and they told him he could write anything he wanted. So he told them he'd offer the next song that he wrote, which ended up being The Power of Love, which mentions nothing about the plot of the movie, but it did become the band's first #1 hit. So here's The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News. Okay, Kelly, what's your next track?
I believe my next track is Take On Me by Aha.
Aha.
This is something I didn't know. I didn't know that they had released it in 1984, but it flopped. When they released it again in 1985, it eventually hit #1 on the US chart. The groundbreaking pencil sketch video swept the 1986 MTV VMAs with 6 awards. It's from the album Hunting High and Low, which is one of my favorites from that year. Every track on there is a gem. My favorite is The Sun Always Shines on TV. I think that's better than Take On Me. The Sun Always Shines on TV did reach the top 20 in the US. So, Aha is not a one-hit wonder.
Oh man, you just blew my theory. I was always thinking that was one of the top one-hit wonders.
Nope.
I do on a related note though, I have oftentimes thought sometimes there'll be a prompt or say, what song was the most descriptive of the 80s? What's the classic 80s song? And I always thought that this one may not have been, the best song, but for me, it's always the one that's most indicative of the decade. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. And, you can just show like a screenshot of one piece of the video and the people know it immediately what it is,
Yeah.
And it's also, I believe that is one of the top videos of the decade, though, the Take On Me video. Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's take a listen. Here's Take On Me. Okay, it's about that time. It's early December here when we're recording this, and one of the things I always try to do is I always try to get Kelly on what's called Whamageddon, which which is hearing the song "First Christmas" by
Last
Wham.
Christmas.
Last Christmas. Thank you. Yeah, Last Christmas by Wham. So my story is I was mentioning Thanksgiving. We did a turkey trot, and we're going through the course, and about 2/3 of the way through, there's a like a boombox on the corner with one of the people that was just kind of marshaling the crowd of runners and walkers and whatever, and it was playing Last Christmas, and I'm like, oh my God, I got Whamageddon, and it was even before. I think you need to. It starts on December 1st or whatever, so this is even before. So I took a video of it and I sent it to Kelly, and she claims she couldn't listen to it. So
I didn't.
I think she's
I did not click on that link. Nope.
Yeah, I know. I know you're on to me. But I've been Whamageddoned, and you're up next. So since it's Wham time, the song that I picked here was Everything She Wants. Now, this is a Wham song, but it's really a George Michael song. He did the entire song. He recorded it in the studio solo, except for help from the engineer. In the story, as the story goes, the album was done and they were ready to, the band had been sent home. They'd actually been recording in the south of France, and the band had been sent home, and George had this vamp in his head. So he decided to write it down. He wrote down the backing track, and it was on a drum machine, and he wrote the whole thing down one night. And then the next morning he got up and finished the lyrics, and then he recorded it. So the vamp was actually something that he was going to use to, I guess, keep the time and have the beat, and he was going to eliminate it. But after he had recorded it, he decided to leave it in. So anyway, this became Wham's third consecutive #1 hit. And there's an extended version of the song where that opening vamp is about 55 seconds. And I know that because I've been known to listen to that multiple times, not 2 or 3, but more than that before playing the rest of the song. And it just speaks to me, and we're going to play that for the song. But anything that you think about this song, Kelly?
Oh, well, it's probably my favorite from Make It Big, and they also just celebrated a 40th anniversary on December 3rd.
That's
so
right.
It's
that was
exactly
just yesterday.
40 years
Yep.
old. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yes, and this became a #1 hit in the year 1985. So let's listen to Everything She Wants by Wham. Okay, Kelly, what's next?
My next one is Perfect Way by Scritti Politti. Are you familiar with that one, Dave?
Oh, yes, we know that one.
Yeah, it's
That's
from...
another, you're picking another one-hit wonder, aren't you?
No. It's from Scritti's album Cupid and Psyche 85. It is not their first album. A lot of people think that Cupid and Psyche 85 is Scritti's first album. It's not. The first album was called Songs to Remember, but it is the first album that has the trio of David Gamson, Green Gartside, and Fred Marr. It's another album that is a gem. Every track on it is perfection, in my opinion. Somebody else thinks differently. Perfect Way was a modest hit in the UK, but it reached number 11 on the US Billboard Hot 100. And Miles Davis covered it for his album Tutu. Did you know that, Dave?
No, I didn't. That's interesting.
Yeah.
The story about It's the Groove goes that when Kelly and I first met, she indicated that Scritti was one of her top groups. And I said, oh, yeah, Perfect Way, because that's literally the only song I knew from the band. And she said, no, you got to listen to their entire catalog. So I did. And along the way, I found some magnificent music that I absolutely love. And in fact, some of that was on my Wrapped a couple of years ago when you first introduced it to me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm a big Scritti fan now that Kelly has helped me to see the light. And this is a great song. So, anything else you want to cover about Perfect Way?
No, I mean, I'm always surprised that it didn't do as well in the UK as it did in the US because it's just a fantastic song.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's listen to Perfect Way by Scritti Politti. Okay. Next up for me is the song Method of Modern Love by Hall & Oates. Or as I'm sometimes called them, Hall and the short guy that, hangs around with them. Or used to hang around with them, I guess. Anyway, This is the second single from their 12th studio album, Big Bam Boom. It reached number 5 on the pop charts. And it has even more of an electronic urban feel to it than some of their previous albums, combining their song structure and vocals with the latest technical advances in recording. The album employed some of the most sophisticated equipment used in the recording industry at the time. Now, this song was written with Daryl Hall and Jana Allen, who also wrote Kiss on My List, which is one of my favorites, and Private Eyes. Jana was the sister of Sarah Allen, who also wrote a number of songs for and with Hall & Oates. Unfortunately, Jana passed away in 1993 at the age of 36 from leukemia. But Method of Modern Love is a song that I've always loved. It's got such a funky groove in the beginning of that song. I'm on a little bit of thin ice with this one, but sometimes I think that this is one of the first examples of rap being done in popular music towards the end, where Daryl kind of does a little rap for a couple of bars. I think I'm on thin ice with that one. My daughter always says, yeah, but Dad, that's not right because Rapper's Delight came out 5 years before. And yeah, that's true. But you didn't see mainstream acts like Hall & Oates doing rap, in the early 80s. So anyway, let's take a listen to Method of Modern Love by Hall & Oates. Okay, Kelly, what's next?
My next song is Maureen from Sade. Now, this song I don't believe it was ever released as a single. It is a heartfelt tribute to a friend who passed away from Sade. It's from her album Promise, which is my favorite Sade album. And Sade said about this song, Maureen is personally my favorite song on the album because it's about a friend who died 5 years ago. I didn't want to be sad or self-indulgent, but to represent the joy and the good times that we had together. I think of it as a happy tribute. The song came almost like magic. It was written in 2 hours. And Dave has a fave lyric. What is your fave lyric from the song?
Loving you is easy a cappella.
Yep.
It's interesting because I don't believe I was real familiar with this song until this is another one that you kind of brought to my attention. I knew about the album and I love the album, but I'd never really singled this one out. But when you brought it to my attention, I'm like, oh, wow, that's great. And it really did become, an earworm for me to the point where it's definitely, I know it's on my Wrapped list, my top list for 2024. So yes, it's a great song.
Yeah, it's my favorite song from the album.
Yep. So let's take a listen. Oh, and by the way, this is a little bit of a precursor, little teaser, because in 2025, we will be doing a special episode all about Sade. So stay tuned for that. So let's take a listen to Maureen. Okay, it's time to get into the groove. Yes, guys, we're going back to Madonna. And Into the Groove was written for the soundtrack of the movie Desperately Seeking Susan. Again, I think I remember seeing this. It wasn't that great of a movie, but, if you were a music fan and you loved Madonna's music, you just had to go out and see this movie. So it needed a dance track, and this was written for that purpose, to be a dance track for the movie. This was subsequently added to the re-release of the Like a Virgin album and appears on various Madonna collection albums as well. But because it was never released in the US, it was ineligible for the charts. It never made the charts simply because it was not not officially released, but it was released in the UK and Europe where it reached number 1. And of course, it was all over the radio. So, I've kind of teased, and there's a few songs that we really like that employ the word groove, but this is one of them that could be the unofficial theme song for It's the Groove. Kelly, do you have any comments about Into the Groove?
Well, like you said, I think it would be a terrific song for It's the Groove. Madonna, if you're listening, hello.
Yep, you're Madonna. You're welcome to come on to the pod anytime you want.
Right? Yeah, be our guest.
All right, here, let's listen to Into the Groove.
And you can dance for inspiration. Come on. I'm waiting. Get into the groove, boy. You got to prove your love to me. Yeah. Get up on your feet, yeah. Step to the beat, go
All right, Kelly, we're kind of wrapping up the list. I think you've got one more for us, though. So what's that?
Yeah, it's King for a Day from Thompson Twins, and it's another one of my favorite albums from 1985. Another album that has every song on it is a gem. It was co-produced by Nile Rodgers, and King for a Day was a top 10 hit in the U.S., peaking at number 8. And like I said, Nile Rodgers was on it. He also played guitar and sang backing vocals. It was the last top 40 hit in the UK.
For Thompson Twins?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we actually at It's the Groove, we sometimes, as we're structuring our episodes, we have to negotiate. And I'll tell you that Kelly is a tough negotiator because I wanted both Maureen and King for a Day. So she's picked some good ones. So let's take a listen now to King for a Day by Thompson Twins.
I know you well, and I can tell something's on your mind. 'Cause in your dream, demons scream. I know it's gonna hurt you like you say you're hunger. Something you can't name at all. And love is not enough anymore. I was king for just one day. I would give it all away. You know that love is all we need to get us through.
All right. The last one we've got is another fun one. At least I think it's fun. It's Neutron Dance by the Pointer Sisters. This song was written by noted composer Ali Willis and Danny Cimbello. It was originally thought to be for a movie about a dystopian post-Holocaust world. And Ali Willis, who wrote a ton of great songs, just wanted to get this one done. At one point, as they're writing, and I think she said they did this like in an afternoon or something like that. But she looks outside and she sees somebody trying to break into her car out on the street, and she runs out to scare them off, yelling over her shoulder to Cimbello, "Someone stole my brand new Chevrolet," which Danny wrote down as a lyric, and it ended up being in the song. This song was given to Ruth Pointer, the Pointer Sisters, who didn't want to sing the lyrics because of the connection with the neutron bomb, which was in the news at the time. Willis told her to quit overthinking it, just sing the damn song, which she did, and it became a hit. And she actually credits Ali Willis for coaching her through that, because she just needed that little nudge to get it done. The song was subsequently placed on the Eddie Murphy movie Beverly Hills Cop during that chase scene where Eddie Murphy's in the back of the truck bouncing around, and it fits perfectly. The film's producers weren't sure at first, and they asked music producer Richard Perry to develop a different song, but Perry refused, telling the movie makers they had a 1 in a million song, and he was right. Neutron Dance reached number 6 on the charts, the 4th consecutive top 10 song for them, and it was really their career zenith. They never charted again after that. The lead vocals are done by Ruth Pointer, who usually did the backing vocals, but she also sang lead on the Pointer Sisters song Automatic. Kelly, what's your remembrance of Neutron Dance?
I remember I loved the Pointer Sisters when I was a little girl in the 70s, and I was so happy to see them have hits in the 80s. And Neutron Dance is a fantastic song. I really like it.
Yep. So let's take a listen to Neutron Dance by the Pointer Sisters.
There's no money falling from the sky, 'cause a man took my heart and robbed me blind. Someone stole my brand new
Okay, Kelly, that wraps up our top 10 of the year 1985. Any concluding thoughts that you have about the list?
We couldn't include every song because we would be here for 2, 3, 4 hours. But we're wondering what you think. What song would you put on your top 10 list? We would love to hear your ideas on that.
Yes, please, again, follow us on any platform that you choose, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts or on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, send us comments on the list. What would you put instead? What are your top favorite songs from 1985? And let us know. Keep us in mind. By the way, as we mentioned earlier, as we get into 1985, excuse me, as we get into 2025, we've got a list of episodes coming up we think you're going to like. The next one will be on Sade and about the quiet storm that she, in essence, created and exemplified. So we look forward to that. We're already getting excited for that episode. And Kelly, any concluding thoughts?
Thank you for listening, and please like and subscribe and send us your comments. We really would like to hear from you.
And Happy New Year.
Yeah, that too.
In 2025, remember, it's not the beat, it's the groove. Thanks for listening.
Bye.